सार्थक करन्ति बेनियाखी पराण भरी देखन्ति विमुख माधुरी पराण भरी देखन्ति विमुख माधुरी कमल चरणे लोटी करन्ति गुहारी कमल चरणे लोटी करन्ति गुहारी कमल चरणे लोटी करन्ति गुहारी हे दीनबन्धु हे दीनबन्धु सिन्धुरे मिशा क्षुद्रबिन्दु हे दीनबन्धु सिन्धुरे मिशा क्षुद्रबिन्दु साई रखिछि जेते नयनारे जरा साई रखिछि जेते नयनारे जरा सरागे धोई दियन्ति चरण कमल सरागे धोई दियन्ति चरण कमल सरागे धोई दियन्ति चरण कमल हे भक्ति रे हे भक्ति रे बसाई मो हृदयासन रे हे भक्ति रे बसाई मो हृदयासन धूप दीप गंध पुष्प नैवेद्य थाली धूप दीप गंध पुष्प नैवेद्य थाली सज फूटा मणि फूले गुंथी अछि माली सज फूटा मणि फूले गुंथी अछि माली सज फूटा मल्ली फूले गुंथी अछि माली हे पिंधाई दी हे पिंधाई दी प्रेम भरे श्रीपद पूजी हे पिंधाई दी प्रेम भरे श्रीपद पूजी रसराज जैसे आसरसित नागर रसराज जैसे आसरसित शीतनागर पुरा भक्त वाञ्छा प्राणर ठाकुर पुरा भक्त वाञ्छा प्राणर ठाकुर पुरा भक्त वाञ्छा प्राणर ठाकुर हे वीर हरे हे वीर हरे नयनु निरत निरधारी हे वीर हरे नयनु निरत निरधारी बहुदिनु आशा मोर रहिछि मनरे बहुदिनु आशा मोर रहिछि मनरे आसंत की प्राणनाथ मोदीन कुटीरे आसंत की प्राणनाथ मोदीन कुटीरे আজি आसंत की আজি आसंत की सार्थक करन्ति रेणी आखि আজি आसंत की सार्थक करन्ति रेणी आखि।
जय गुरु। प्राण ठाकुर सेहि रूपे दिया दर्शन प्राण ठाकुर सेहि रूपे दिया दर्शन जा दर्शने मृत प्राणी संचरे नव जीवन जा दर्शने मृत प्राणी संचरे नव जीवन सेहि रूपे दिया दर्शन प्राण ठाकुर सेहि रूपे दिया दर्शन जा देखि भक्त हृदय प्रेमे होइन तन्मय जा देखि भक्त हृदय प्रेमे होइन तन्मय श्रीपद पंकजे प्राण समर्पी बचिरादीन श्रीपद पंकजे प्राण समर्पी बचिरादीन तेहि रूपे दिया दर्शन प्राण ठाकुर तेहि रूपे दिया दर्शन अबारित श्रुधारा रचिव प्रेम सागर अवारित अश्रुधारा रचिव प्रेम सागर स्वरूप मधुरी देखी विमोहित हेब मन स्वरूप मधुरी देखी विमोहित हेब मन सेहि रूपे दिया दर्शन प्राण ठाकुर सेहि रूपे दिया दर्शन घुंचिव सर्व संशय दूरी जीव पाप भय घुंचिव सर्व संशय दूरी जीव पाप भय निर्मल हेब हृदय धन्य होइब जीवन निर्मल हेब हृदय धन्य होइब जीवन सेहि रूपे दिया दर्शन प्राण ठाकुर सेहि रूपे दिया दर्शन लाज भय तेजी दूरे नाचिबी आनंद भरे लाज भय तेजी दूरे नाचिबी आनंद भरे गाइबी मूर्छ स्वरे तब नाम जय गान गाइबी मूर्छ स्वरे तब नाम जय गान सेहि रूपे दिया दर्शन प्राण ठाकुर सेहि रूपे दिया दर्शन श्रीपदे करुझियाळी ते भक्ति पुष्पांजलि श्रीपदे करुझियाळी दे भक्ति पुष्पांजलि चरण सेवक करी रख मोते
बंधन मोचन पूजावर गुणहीन शेष गुणाधिपति भवभीरु जाने सत तम्बरदा प्रणमामि गुरुं शिवकल्पतरुं प्रणमामि गुरुं शिवकल्पतरुं। जय गुरु। नाही नंदन बनरस nahi chandana chua, nahi nandana vanarasumana, nahi chandana chua, nahi nandana vanarasumana. Bhakti pothire bandha dora mora, bhakti pothire dora bandha mora, pranati sikhuchi no, pranati sikhuchi nahi nandana vanarasumana, nahi chandana chua, nahi nandana vanarasumana, nahi chandana chua, nahi nandana vanarasumana. Kalu sajaladhi urmire mohi, kalu sajaladhi urmire mohi, atithi priya go aji matha dhoi, atithi priya go aji matha dhoi, diya pora tuma charana parasa, 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 no pari chua chua, no pari chua chua, deula duare atithi aji mo, deula duare atithi aji mo, suniye hi sana kuha, suniye hi loka kuha, nahi nandana vanarasumana, nahi chandana chua, nahi nandana vanarasumana, nahi chandana chua, nahi nandana vanarasumana. Na dile na diya charana parasa, na dile na diya charana parasa, kalanka lagiba heba pojasa, kalanka lagiba heba pojasa, durukhena priya bandhana debe, durukhena priya bandhana debe, mano mora sana kuha, mano mora sana kuha, বন ফুলটিয়ে আনিছি ভেটিবি বন ফুলটিয়ে আনিছি ভেটিবি বন ফুলটিয়ে আনিছি ভেটিবি বন ফুলটিয়ে আনিছি ভেটিবি ভরাখি পানি ধুয়া ভরাখি পানি ধুয়া নাহি নন্দন বনর সুমন নাহি চন্দন চুয়া নাহি নন্দন বনর সুমন নাহি চন্দন চুয়া নাহি নন্দন বনর সুমন মগতি পথিরে ডর বন্ধা মোর মগতি পথিরে ডর বন্ধা মোর প্রণতি শিখুছিনু প্রণতি শিখুছিনু নাহি নন্দন বনর সুমন নাহি চন্দন চুয়া নাহি নন্দন বনর সুমন নাহি চন্দন চুয়া নাহি নন্দন বনর সুমন। জয় গুরু।
Jayaguru, Nigama Upadesha, to innocent believers, faith is the reciprocal of devotion. Once faith and devotion were the monopoly of all people, comprising the children, the old people and the women of this country. But now that has become like poets' imagination or ornamental verses of the epics. In addition to erosion in education at present, faith and devotion are gradually evaporating like a camphor, day by day, from the educated society. Why would anyone follow the path of spiritual practices if one has no faith in it? The Indian women, by dint of their strong faith, were counting death in the funeral prayer of their dead husband. The Indians, by their firm faith, were bent upon sacrificing their physical body to protect the people seeking refuge under them. There is a saying, faith brings one nearer to Krishna, but argument takes him away. Where there is faith, there is devotion. In other words, faith and devotion are two separate objectives of one body. Strong faith is the substratum of devotion. In other words, the condensed form of faith is called devotion. Knowledge is the root of all disaster. Yet it is also true that knowledge is essential to have firm faith in existence of the God. But knowledge pertaining to truthful matters is no knowledge. It is the philosophy of ignorance. Without knowledge, one may achieve desired objective through blind faith or prayer, but the true form of God can never be realized. If you think of Platon, how can you get jackfruit? God makes himself available in the particular form according to one's thought and prayers. So God has stated, Ye yatha mama pradatmayam tam savya bhajamayam. If I give one results according to this thought and prayer before me. The Gita 4:11. But today, at this juncture of this time, we fail to have faith even to truthful matters because of foreign education system. We try to settle everything only through arguments. We, the weak-minded people, are not able to comprehend the truth realized by the most knowledgeable sages and seers like Vasishtha and others. Comprehension of these basics necessitate yogic power. Their knowledge can hardly be compared with modern man's knowledge devoid of spiritual practices and prayer, as well as the mind polluted with ambition and desire. Hence, O dear brother, give up values of argument, fill up your mind with faith and devotion, and lead life built on the teaching of scriptures written by the self-realized sages. The non-believers find no peace in their life here and hereafter. Everything is vain and meaningless. Only God is the quintessence of life. We are bounded creatures. He is ever free. We are finite, but He is infinite. We are rich and prodigious, but He is the source of richness and prodigies. He belongs solely to us. He is sure to listen to us. There is no other way of salvation without His grace. Such firm faith results in pure and unshakable devotion. Let everything perish, the sun, the moon, the stars, the planet, grease, the dust, the earth be destroyed, the son and family members, the relatives and friends depart, all wealth and property, all worldly prosperity disappear. But if that God, who is the source of everything, is with me, all my desires must be fulfilled. He is only our own. All are His name. Such strong faith is the basis of deep devotion. In one word, the essence of faith is devotion. Jayaguru.
Jayaguru, Nilachal Sartha Sangha Puri, America Sartha Sangha, 986th Sangha Puja Session Report. Date and time, December 7, 2025, 7:15 a.m. to 11:55 a.m. Eastern Time. Palia, Natik, Aruma, Aradhanama. Adhibasa Puja was held at NSM on Saturday evening, 7 p.m. Eastern Time to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Sangha Puja attendance, the link to the attendance sheet available in the AMSAS website. First session, December 7th, 2025, 7:15 a.m. to 8:45 a.m. The morning session of the puja started at 7:15 a.m. with Pratiksha Sangita sung by Udidama, Kahara Adara Bola Daka Subhilare, and Anjali Ma Phuloti Hui Putikanti Thakura. During Pratiksha, all the devotees joined the puja via conference bridge. Sanujit Bhai performed the arati, then Smita Rema sang the Bandana, Bandai Guru Charana, and Stota Bandana. Sonalima read Shree Shree Thakur Guru Gita, Sloka 45. Braja Bhai read the Parichaya Patra, followed by Samilani Prarthana and Bhakta Nivasa Nirmana Prarthana. Then Kalpanama read Sangha Sevaka 22nd year, first part Mandana Prarthana and Prarthana Karinka Prati. After the reading of Sangha Sevaka, Aradhana Ma invited Sisi Thakura Bhai's Ma and young aspirant to attend the second session. The first session was concluded with Jayaguru Namakirtana. After the first session, Balya Bhoga was offered to Sisi Thakura. And then Bhai's Ma and young aspirant accepted prasada. Second session, December 7th, 2025, 9:45 a.m. to 11:55 a.m. The second session of the puja started at 9:45 a.m. Eastern Time with Abahana song sung by Sibani Mahanti Ma, Asa He Asa Parana Isa, and Arpita Ma, Asa Ananda Swarupa Prema Pasara. During Abahana, all the devotees joined the puja via conference bridge. This was followed by Pranamagana in opening of the asana. Then Nirlipta Ma sang the Bandana Mage Bhava Manava Asisa Madhudhara, followed by Parichaya Patra Patha by Kalpanama. Then Rasmi Chaudhary Ma sang Vishwapati Pranama. Then Aruma read Rigama Padesa, page 111 to 112. Shiva's Gyanari Jiva Seva. Then Madhusmita Ma read the minutes of the last session Sangha Puja. Then Aradhana Ma read Parichaya Pancha Sannyasi Sisya from page 2029 onwards. Then Milu Ma sang Prarthana Sangita. There Thore the Dekhi Mana Bhai Jayaguru Ratare, followed by Yogi Guru reading by Daulima, page 88 onwards. Then Jnana Bhai conducted questions and answers session. Then the young aspirant session was started with the Prarthana Sangita. To तुमी केते सत्ते अपनार, sung by Anik. Then Fatima led the discussions in the YA session. Then Naitik, Aruma, Aradhrama did their Bhava Vinima Seva, followed by invited for the Madhyana Bhoga and evening puja. Then Jagrat invited Thakura for next YA session, followed by Banima invited Shree Shree Thakur to the next Sangha Puja to be held on December 14, 2025. After that, Aruma prayed for forgiveness from Thakura, all bhais, ma and young aspirants. The session was concluded with the Vidya Pratana, Dinanatha Ehi Bhiksha, sung by Smita Baima, and the asana was closed with Jayaguru Namakirtana and Pranama. Biswajit Bhai took the attendance of all bhais and mas for the session. Then Madhyana Bhoga was offered to Shree Shree Thakur, followed by Prasada Seva. Shree Shree Thakur Janansito, Naitik, Aruma, Aradhanama. Jai Guru.
जय गुरु। नीलाचल ठाकुर निर्वाणन 256 पृष्ठा पैराग्राफ सेकेंड पैराग्राफ पढ़ा। लक्ष्य रे चिड़ियाखाना देखी मन अच्छी नैसर्गिक परिवेश रे पशु पक्षी मानकु रखिबा भली चिड़ियाखाना। बाघ सिंह सब मुक्त अवस्था रे थांती। एभली नेचुरल जू आजिकल अनेक स्थान रे हेलानी। से समय रे से तो केवल लक्ष्य रे ही थिला। अयोध्या रे सरजू नदी रे स्नान कलु। इलाहाबाद त्रिवेणी संगम रे मध्य स्नान कलु। काशी रे मात्र गोटे रात्रि थिली। खेलना और मनोहरी जिनिस भरा विश्वनाथंक गली छड़ा मोर अन्य किछि मन नहीं। गया रे गदाधरंक पाद पद्म देखी मन हैला यही पाद जहांकर तांको पादर गठन ठीक आम ठाकुरंक पाद परी। तेबे से ठाकुरंक ठारु मध्य दीर्घाकार हेबे। वैद्यनाथ धामर पेड़ा दही छड़ा आउ किछि मने पड़ू नहीं। प्राय समग्र भारत रे एई भली भाबरे बुली बुली पौष 15 दिन आमे हावड़ा को फेरी आसिलु। स्टेशन रु सुधीर भाई श्री सुधीर रंजन राय ठाकुर को नहीं तांको बेलघरिया बसारे पहुंचाई देले। से घर सेतेबेले बेंगल एक्सपोर्ट कंपनी नाम रे परिचित थिला। सुधीर भाई माछधरा छिप हुइल इत्यादि व्यवसाय करती। यही गृहर अनति दूर रे थिला तपोवन नामक गोटे उद्यान। यह कौन केशव सेन को तपोवन? यठारे कौन केशव सेन को परमहंस देव प्रथमे देखिथिले? कथामृत रे बेलघरियार उद्यान कथार उल्लेख अछि। सुधीर भाई पितृदेव शारदा रंजन राय स्वर्गत शारदा रंजन राय विद्यासागर कॉलेज रो प्रख्यात अध्यक्ष थिले। संस्कृत और गणित यही दुई आपात विरोधी विषय रे तांकर तर्कातीत पांडित्य थिला। सही उभय रे तांकर रचित अगणित पुस्तक आज मध्य ये देश और विदेश रे समान भाव रे आदृत। यह छड़ा माछधरा और खेल कसरत तांकर विशेष दक्षता थिला। तांको बंगाला रे क्रिकेट रो जनक बोली कहा जाए। कलिकता विश्वविद्यालय रो इंटर कॉलेजिएट क्रिकेट चैंपियनशिप शील्ड तांकर स्मरण रे एम राय मेमोरियल शील्ड नाम रे विख्यात। बंगालार सुप्रसिद्ध शिशु साहित्यिक उपेंद्र किशोर राय चौधरी उर्फ कामदा रंजन राय शारदा रंजन सहोदर भ्राता। एमानंकर मूल बासस्थान थिला मयमन सिंह जिलार किशोरगंज महकुमार मसुया ग्राम रे। श्री सुधीर रंजन राय तांको पितांकर चतुर्थ संतान और तृतीय पुत्र। मु तांको द्विपत्निक भाव रे देखिछि। तांकर प्रथमा पत्नी बेला राय 1335 साल रे परलोक गमन कले। ठाकुरंक चिठी तृतीय खंड नंबर 5 और 6 रे तांको पारलौकिक विवरणी अछि। ठाकुर महाराज क्यों कारण के जानी सुधीर भाई स्त्री को शांति बोली डाकती। स्त्री वियोग पर जितेबले ठाकुरंक संगरे साक्षात हैला सेतेबेले सुधीर भाई अनुरोध कले ताकू थरे देखांतु। अति बाध्य ठाकुर कहले अच्छा समय हेले देखिबू किंतु न देखिले भल हुंता। यार किछि दिन पर दादा ससुरंक आमंत्रण रे सुधीर भाई माँ और भौणी को नहीं इलाहाबाद गले। सेठारे गोटे घरे से एकाकी जपादी करुथांती। एतिक बेले हठात देखा पाइले सम्मुखरे ठाकुर एवं तांको कोଳରେ सुधीर भाई परलोक गता स्त्री। ठाकुर जेपरी तांकु भ्रू भंगरे देखाई देले जे बेला तांकु चिन्हि पारुने। यही अलौकिक दृश्य दर्शन रे सुधीर भाई भयर कंपित होई चित्कार करी उठिले। तांको चित्कार सुनी घर लोके दौड़ी जाई घटना ता सुनी मनर भ्रम बोली कही हसी हसी उड़ाई देले। सुधीर भाई आउ किछि न कही नीरव रहिले। किंतु केते दिन पर ठाकुरंकर चिट्ठी आसिला। सेथिरे घटनार उल्लेख करी से लिखिथिले अमुक दिन अमुक समय तुमे मोते और शांति को देखिछ। से जे वर्तमान मायातीत भूमि रे अवस्थान करुछि एथर निश्चय ताहा बुझी पारिथिबो। सुतरां निजे वर्तमान सुस्थ हेबाकू चेष्टा कर इत्यादि। एही चिठी देखि सुधीर भाई माँ भौणी और दादा ससुर ठाकुर को अप्राकृत शक्तिधर महापुरुष ज्ञान करी तांको निकटरू दीक्षा नेबाकू व्यग्र हेले। किंतु ठाकुर सुधीर भाई माँ व्यतीत अन्य काहाकू दीक्षा देबाकू सम्मत हेले नाही। शक्ति भाई यही घटनाटी स्वर्गत सतीश चंद्र मजुमदार निकटरू संग्रह करथिले। से सुधीर भाई ज्ञाति संपर्क रे ठाकुरदा बा ठाकुर बाबा थिले। से मध्य सुधीर भाई ठारू ठाकुर संधान पाइथिले। बेलघरिया रे आमे माने सुधीर भाई आहार विहार रे ब्रह्मचारी भली संयत जीवन यापन करिवार देखिछु। ठाकुर उपरे तांकर विश्वास जेपरी थिला सेहीपरि बल मध्य थिला। से ठाकुर संगरे तुमे बोली कथबार्ता करती। ठाकुर सबुबले पादरे विद्यासागरी चटी व्यवहार करिवार देखिछि। बेलघरिया रे ही दिने सुधीर भाई घन गोलापी रंगर हले मखमली चटी आनी ठाकुर पादरे पिंधाई देई कहिथिले सेही बेढंगा चटी छाड़ आज ठारू सबुदिन एई चटी पिंधिबो। भुवन भाई देखिले केड़े सुंदर दिसुची। भुवन भाई मुखरे आउ हस धरु नथाय। ठाकुर आपत्ति कले मोर से चटी हलक कौन हेबो ताकू रखी दियो नहले मते दियो मु पूजा घरे रखीबी कहले सुधीर भाई। ठाकुर आपत्ति कले ना चटी हलक टिकी हेले छिंडी नाही काहे ताकू छाडीबी रे आउ थाउ एहा मोर पाइखना चटी हेबो। अनेक दिन हेलानी मोर एही चटी पिंधिबा अभ्यास पिंधिबा को भारी आराम लगे। सुधीर भाई जोर देई कहले एथिरे मध्य आराम पाइबो। 2 दिन पादरे देई देखो ना तुला परी नरम बोली आनीची। ठाकुर तुम पाद दुईटी जे केते कोमल ताहा कोन मु जानी नहीं। एही चटी तुमको ही पिंधिबा को हेबो ता नहले तुमर एही पूर्व हलक दिने फिंगी देबी कही सुधीर भाई खूब हसिबा को लागिले। ताहा जे से करि पारंती एहा ठाकुर जानिथिले। सुतरां तापरे सेही लाल मखमल चटी को ही पादरे पिंधिले। शेष जीवन फोटो गुड़िक पादरे से ही चटी हड़क थिबार देखा जाए। ता बोली ताला तलार चटी ठाकुर छाड़ी नथिले। शोइबा घर बाहर चटी हड़क रखी से ही चटी पादरे दे ठाकुर प्रातः कृत्य समाप्त करती। स्नान पर पुनराय लाल चटी हड़क पादरे दियंती। सुधीर भाई घरे दोताला रे गोटे बड़ छात और दुई भाई घर। गोटे बखरा रे गृहस्वामी रात्रिवास करती अन्य बखराटी खाली पड़ी थाए। से ही 2 बखरा घर ठाकुर और तांको सेविका मानक पई छाड़ी देई से तल घरे आश्रय नेले। से ही गृहर चतुर्दिगरे वृक्षलता और गोटे बड़ पोखरी उन्मुक्त स्थान ग्राम्य परिवेश घर देखी ठाकुरंकर पसंद हैला। किंतु दादा महाशय फणीबाबू घरे बसवास करवाटा सेथर कहीं बंद हैला ताहा मोर अज्ञात। सर्वदा समस्ते जानती जे ठाकुर कलिकता आसिले 55 तलार ही रहती। यही व्यतिक्रम ही प्रथम। गुरु शिष्य मध्य कौन गुढ़ मानाभिमान ताहार हेतु बोली मोर अनुमान। से थर खड़कुसुमारे भक्त सम्मिलनी होइतिला। ठाकुर को सही सम्मिलनी रे दर्शन करिवार आशा समस्त थाए। किंतु शेषरे ठाकुर को छाड़ी सम्मिलनी हैला। पूर्वबंगर जो विशिष्ट भक्त माने एते दूर पश्चिम बंगर शेष प्रांत पर्यंत धाई आसथिले ठाकुर पौष 15 रे फेरिबे बोली सुनी सेमानक मध्यरु केते जण कलिकता रे अपेक्षा करियबो लागिले। स्टेशन रे सेमानक मध्यरु केते जण ठाकुर को प्रणाम करिगले। से बेलघरिया रे रहिबे बोली पुणी रात्रि रे सेमाने सेठारे तांको साक्षात करिया पई जिबे बोली जणाइले। मु कोनोसी भक्त सम्मिलनी देखि नाही। सम्मिलन रे जो आनंद सभा हुए से विषय रे बाबा ठारू सुनिछि मात्र। सेतर बेलघरिया रे ଏହି ଆନନ୍ଦ ସଭାର ଟିକିଏ ନମୁନା ଦେଖିବାକୁ ପାଇଲି। ସେ ରାତ୍ରିର କଥା ମୋର ଭଲ ଭାବେ ମନେ ଅଛି।
ଜୟଗୁରୁ ଭାଇ ରଖନ୍ତୁ ସେଇଠି, ଭାଇ ରଖନ୍ତୁ। ଜୟ
Jayaguru. Summarization आज जहाँ पढ़ा है। So after an to set the context, after an extended visit to many religious places in the northern India, Thakur and his entourage, they arrived at Lucknow. Lilama and others, they visited the zoo there, and they liked its natural setup. All of them took bath in the Saroj River and in the Triveni Sangam at Allahabad. And they stayed one night at Kasi. Then at Gaya, had a darshan of the lotus feet of Sri Gadadhar. Lilama felt that his feet, lotus feet, is very much like Thakur's lotus feet, except that the idol of Gadadhar appeared to be much larger than Thakur. Excuse me. So after an extensive tour of almost all of India, all of them returned to Howrah on Pausa 15th. Thakur and his sevakas stayed at Sudhir Bhai's residence at Belgaria, which was known as Bengal Export Company at that time. And there was a park next to Sudhir Bhai's residence. It was known as Tapovan Park. And there is a mention about this Tapovan Park in at Belgaria in Kathamruta sometime. So a short family background of Sudhir Bhai was given. His father, late Sri Saradarajan Ray, was the principal of Vidyasagar College and scholar in Sanskrit and mathematics. He wrote many books on these topics, and he was an expert in fishing and sports, and also known as the father of cricket in Bengal. The Calcutta University Intercollegiate Tournament was named after him. Sudhir Bhai was the fourth child, and he was a widower. His wife passed away in Bangabda 1335. For some reason, Thakur used to call his wife as Santi. When Sudhir Bhai met Thakur, he expressed his desire to see his wife for once. And in spite of Thakur's reluctance, he finally assured him that he will see his wife. Sudhir Bhai will see Santima when it is the appropriate time. So a few days later, Sudhir Bhai visited Allahabad with his mother and sister at the invitation of his uncle-in-law. And he used to perform puja and meditation in one special room. And during a meditation session one day, he saw his wife sitting on Thakur's lap. So through this vision, he got really scared and shouted and told it to everybody that he saw what he saw. But no one believed about it. A few days later, Sudhir Bhai received a letter from Thakur where Thakur described the date, time, and the details of the event. So after reading that letter, everybody was convinced about the supernatural power of Thakur and his divinity and wanted to take Diksha from him. But Thakur only accepted Sudhir Bhai's mother and gave her Diksha. So at Belgaria, Sudhir Bhai was leading the life of a real brahmachari. He was very close and informal with Thakur, and there was an incident about a footwear that he wanted to bring it for Thakur. Thakur used to always put on a Vidyasagar chappal. Actually, it's a type of a footwear, and he has been using it for many years and very comfortable with that. But Sudhir Bhai felt that footwear is too hard for Thakur's soft feet. So he bought a pair of silken, soft, and red-colored footwears for Thakur and insisted that Thakur discard the old one and start using this one, the new one. So after a lot of bantering and easy conversation between the two, Thakur finally agreed to use Sudhir Bhai's gift, the new chapel, as his regular chapel, but he still continued to keep the old one for his day-to-day refreshment rituals, like going to the toilet, walking around in the showers and other stuff. It was a very funny story about how Thakur can be easygoing with people who love him with simplicity. So that year the Samilani was held at a place called Khadakusuma. Thakur did not attend the Samilani as he was touring India during that time. So devotees from far along places like Dhaka and East Bengal, they came to Khadakusuma to attend the Samilani and with an expectation to have a darshan of Thakur. But they were disappointed when they came to know that Thakur is not attending the Samilani. But at the same time, when they came to know that Thakur will be staying in Bulgaria after a few days, some of them stayed back to have his darshan. So until that time, Lilama had never witnessed a Samilani, but she had heard about the Ananda Sabha and the enjoyment that people used to get out of it. And so today's reading actually ends at this point, but the experience about the how the Ananda Sabha was conducted and subsequent few interesting stories about what happened during the Ananda Sabha, and a story about a dedicated devotee, Naresh Bhai. I think we will cover it in our next reading of Nilachala Thakur Nigananda. Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Today we will read Yogi Guru, page number 91 from Hatha Yoga. Hatha Yoga is somewhat beyond anyone's capability. It is said regarding the features of Hatha Yoga. Akaraha krititva surjascha karaschandra uchyate surya chandrama surya gadhatha yoga nigadyate siddhi siddhanta padhati. In the sound of Hatha, the sound of Ha represents the sun and the sound of the moon. Hatha is suggestive of the union of the sun and the moon. Apanavayu is moon and Pranavayu is sun. Hence, Hatha Yoga is the union of Prana and then Apanavayu. The suitable condition and then body to perform Hatha Yoga is very rarely found with us. Although Raja Yoga is devoid of dualism, but it is undoubtedly difficult for the householders to practice. Especially if Raja Yoga is not explained orally, it is almost impossible to realize by reading books. Hence, for short-lived and then mostly starving people of Kali Yuga. Next, we'll go to Laya Yoga. Laya Yoga is easy and comfortable. Apart from other yogas, by practicing Laya Yoga, many people are attaining Siddhi easily and comfortably. I have also started this book with a view to explain the public about that language which can be easily performed and give direct results. Laya Yoga is of innumerable types. Laya Yoga can be practiced with all possible external and internal objects. That means Siddhi in Laya Yoga can be accomplished by merging Chitta in any object and become one with it. Sarasivakani Sapadala Salaya Vidhani Vasanti Loke Yoga Taravali. In this world, there are 125,000 types of Laya Yoga spoken by Sadasiva. But yogis generally practice 4 types of Laya Yoga. These four types of Loya Yoga are mentioned thus. Sambhavya Jaiva
स्किप कर दीजिए सर
Brahmarya. भाई जयगुरु भाई.
हमको किसी श्लोक स्किप कर दिया तो
Okay, Jayaguru. Siddhi in Loya Yoga is accomplished successfully by four methods. To practice meditation by Sambhavi Mudra, to experience Rasavai Khechari Mudra, to listen to Nada by Brahmari Mudra, Brahmari Kumbhaka, and to realize bliss by Yoni Mudra. A still further easy method of practicing these four types of Loya Yoga have been invented by the enlightened yogis. They opine that among various Loya Yoga, Nadyos Turanda, searching for the divine sound, and then Atma Jyoti Darsana, visualizing the radiance of a soul, and then Kundalini Utthapana, lifting the serpent power. These three methods are the best and comfortable. Kundalini Utthapana is slightly difficult among these. The awakened Kundalini has to be lifted up by contracting Muladhara through a special kriya, just as leaves move from one blade of grass supporting another. Similarly, Kundalini has to be raised gradually from Muladhara through all chakras and eventually taken to Sahasrara and be united with Parama Shiva. How Muladhara is to be contracted, and then how these very difficult triple granthis, knots, are to be overcome, how to be shown practically. Otherwise, it cannot be explained by writing through any words. Therefore, I do not want to increase the volume of the book unnecessarily by describing the process of raising the Kundalini. If anyone interested to know this process comes to me, I can show it to him, but I can never reveal it to an unsuitable person. Narrow Susabdhana search for the divine sound, and then Atma Jyoti Darsana, visualizing the divine light of soul, extremely easy and comfortable among various Loya Yogas. The purpose of this author is to benefit the reader by describing the method of practicing these two kriyas. It is doubtful whether Jayaguru.
Jayaguru, Bhai Mane, Ma Mane, and young aspirants, if anybody present. So I had informed you all in November that on November 12th, India time, 10:30 a.m., our dear Usama's mother, Meera Devi Ma passed away. And Usama had to travel to India on a very short notice. So anyway, so we are doing a Smriti Charana of her, Meera Devi Ma. To start with, I'll request Bijoy Bhai to share a few words. Then I'm expecting Kanna Bhai to have joined from India. Hopefully Kanna Bhai is there online. Then Usama. So Bijoy Bhai, please share a few words. Joy.
Jai Guru. Pranam Thakur Maharaj Mane Usama. We feel sad, but we also celebrate the life of Usama's mother, Meera Devi Ma. I had the good fortune of meeting with her probably two times that I remember. The first was when her grandson was planning to come to the United States, a very bright, he was in high school then. I I got to know the family. And then we were invited, and Sumima and I, we visited there. They had come newly to constructed home, not very far from us, away from the legacy home where Usama grew up. I think it's important that I also share that I have known Usama from my college days, and much younger she was. Probably I was in my master's, so I had just started my job, and she was doing a bachelor's at the women's college. But I'm always intrigued and amazed as to how some people in some communities, some are so influenced by the positives of their parents. And in this case, you'll see Usama not only has a bachelor's degree from India, she has a master's degree there, probably was enrolled in the even further education. And here she has a master's degree from a very reputable university in New York. Much of this I'm saying is because of the inspiration and the push of her mother. And even though she, her mother grew up in very traditional fold, and Usama, what I know from that time, from my association with her community, the men kind of were expected to just complete high school if they could, and after that just get into the business. And the women, if they did complete high school, that was good, but after that it was very early marriage. But I think Usama's mother was ahead of her times. She insisted that Usama get further education. And so much so that when Usama was falling behind or showed a little less interest, she said that I will let the maid go, and that's what you will do. Unless you get education, this is your life. And you'll be relegated to washing, cleaning, and everything that a maid does. And so that's how the pressure or the motivation for Usama to get educated beyond her times. And I was always amazed as to how Usama was so different from the rest of the girls that I knew. And I used to tutor some of them in her community. Usama, from my discussions I've come to know, was her mother gave them flexibility, meaning there was trust in where she was going, what she was doing, but a strong sense of discipline as to when they will come and when they will be home, and that was, they could not violate that. I think that flexibility and discipline has really influenced her children to be who they are. And Usama's brother is a very accomplished chartered accountant in all of Odisha. And so they have become this successful and embraced this kind of life beyond what was expected in the community, coming from very core business background. And that, I think, goes to her mother. My meetings personally, the first time, both Usama's parents were there, and we did pranam to them, and we had limited interactions because, we had gone to talk with the children. But I had more time to talk with her when I visited the second time, when it was the first death of Usama's dad. And that's when I spent some time and I talked with her. And she was everything that you would expect from a mother. Very affectionate, very kind, soft-spoken, but she was very much in charge of what was happening in the family. So today, we pray to Thakur for Sadgati of her soul, and remember her with such, feelings, that somebody who has inspired her children, and one of them is a member of our Sangha, and somebody I have known for a long period of time through common associations. So today on her Smriti Charana, I express my profound prayer to Thakur to provide her the grace and the blessings that she deserves. Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Kanna bhai, have you joined? Kanna bhai?
Jayaguru bhai. Jayaguru bhai.
Jayaguru bhai. It's glad that you joined. I'm glad you joined. For others, Kanna bhai, he used to know. I mean, his good name is Pradyumna bhai. So he was a part of our Sangha here. then he went back to India. So yeah, Kanna bhai, please share a few words. Joy.
Okay. Braja bhai, Jugal bhai bhi join karichante, if we have the time as well.
Oh, of course. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we can give
Jai
it.
Guru.
Yeah,
Jai Guru. Okay, Jai Guru. ଆଜି ଆମେ ସେ ମୋର ଜେଜେମା ଲାଗୁଛନ୍ତି ତାଙ୍କ ସ୍ମୃତିଚାରଣ କରୁଛୁ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କ ସାମ୍ନାରେ କୃତଜ୍ଞତା ଜଣାଉଛି କି ଆଜି AMSAS ସଂଘରେ ଯୋଗ ଦେବାର ସୁଯୋଗ ପାଇଲି। ଆମେ ପିଲା ଦିନରୁ ତାଙ୍କ ଘରେ ଯାଉଛୁ, ମାନେ ଆଇ ରିମେମ୍ବର ତାଙ୍କର ଦୋକାନ ଥିଲା ସେ କଟକରେ ନୟା ସଡକରେ। ମୋ ମନେ ଅଛି ଜେଜେବାପା ସାଙ୍ଗରେ ଯିବି, ଉଷାମାଙ୍କର ବାପା ବି ଥାନ୍ତି, ତେବେ ଆମେ ଖେଳୁ ସେପଟେ, ଆଉ ତାଙ୍କର ଅଫିସ ଉପରେ ଥାଏ। ତ ଏତେ ଥର ଯାଇଛୁ ତାଙ୍କ ଘରକୁ କି ମୁଁ କହିପାରିବିନି, ପିଲାଦିନର ସବୁ ମେମୋରିଜ ନାହିଁ, କିନ୍ତୁ ଆଇ ରିମେମ୍ବର ଦ୍ୟାଟ ସେ ଜେଜେମା ଏତେ ଆଫେକ୍ସନେଟ, ମାନେ ମୁଁ ବାହା ହେଇକି ଯାଇଥିଲି ପ୍ରଥମ ଥର, ସେ ମାନେ ଏତେ ଗେହ୍ଲା କରନ୍ତି। she will always smile, she has that warmth and she would always smile. ଡାକିବେ ପାଖରେ, ଆଉଁସି ଦେବେ, ପଚାରିବେ କେମିତି କଣ ଅଛି, ମାନେ as ବିଜୟ ଭାଇ said, you would expect what a mother should be, right? So ସେ ଏତେ ଗେହ୍ଲ କରନ୍ତି କି ମୁଁ କହିପାରିବିନି। ଏଥର ତାଙ୍କ ସାଙ୍ଗରେ ଯେବେ ବି ଯିବି, ଇଣ୍ଡିଆ ଯେବେ US ରେ ଥିଲି, I would make sure that I'll go and meet her. So last ମୁଁ ତାଙ୍କୁ ଭେଟ କରିପାରି ନଥିଲି। I think I met her sometime last year is what I remember. କିନ୍ତୁ again as bhai said, he covered everything, but ସେ ବହୁତ ସ୍ନେହ କରୁଥିଲେ। ସଦାବେଳେ ମତେ କେଶବ କହିବେ, କାହିଁକି ତାଙ୍କର ନାତିର ନାମ ବି କେଶବ, ଆଉ ମତେ ଘର ଡାକ ନାଁରେ ସମସ୍ତେ କାନ କହୁଛନ୍ତି। ତ ସେମିତି ସେ କହିକି ବହୁତ ଗେଲ କରୁଥିଲେ, ବହୁତ ତାଙ୍କର warmth ଥିଲା। ଆଉ ସେତେ କହିକି ତାଙ୍କର ଆତ୍ମା ସଦ୍ଗତି ପାଇଁ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କ ସାମ୍ନାରେ ପ୍ରାର୍ଥନା କରୁଅଛୁ। ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ ଭାଇ।
ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ। ଯୁଗଳ ଭାଇ ଭଲ ଲାଗୁଛି ଆଉ ଆପଣ ଜଏନ୍ କରିଛନ୍ତି। Yeah, please share something.
ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ। I hope I'm audible. ଠାକୁରଙ୍କ ଶ୍ରୀ ଚରଣରେ ପ୍ରଣାମ କରୁଛି। ଭାଇ ମାଉସୀ, I remember from time immemorial, it's a long journey. Whenever I was a child also, she used to be very loving. बहुत ଭଲ ପାଆନ୍ତି। ଦେଖିଲେ ମାନେ ମୁହଁଟା ଚେହେରା ଜଣା ପଡିବ, eyes will brighten up, that kind of thing. ମାନେ ମୁଁ ଏକ୍ସପ୍ରେସ କରି ଏବେ ବି ଦେଖିଲେ, ମାନେ before she passed away, maybe about 2 weeks before, me and my wife, both of us visited her. We sat down with her. She kept on telling, "Boso, बैठो मत जाओ अभी, रुको." But we had paucity of time, and so we left. But she insisted that we have something. Whether कुछ भी घर में कुछ भी होगा तो बोलेंगे खाओ, तुम खा के जाना, ऐसे मत जाना. Very loving, very loving. मतलब मातृत्व का एक प्रतीक है, जो बोलते हैं ना ठाकुर जी की किताब में है, वो मातृत्व का प्रतीक वो है। I can't think anything further. She was so loving. When I heard that she is no more, it was just a big surprise. It is a blessing to be associated with her. In fact, in the old house as well as in the new house, I have met her number of times. और जब भी हम जाएंगे बोलेंगे कुछ खा के जाना, ऐसे नहीं छोड़ूंगा मैं, खा के जाना होगा. So that kind of approach. अगर मैं बोल दूंगा मैं खा के आया हूँ, मौसी का घर का खाना अच्छा नहीं लगता क्या? She used to say like that. जरूर खाना खिलाएंगे फिर छोड़ेंगे. I cannot express. So nice it was. Meeting her again and again, it was always very nice. कितना बार गया हूँ. My chartered accountant is Usha's brother, so I used to meet him often, and in that connection I used to meet Mausi ji also often. बहुत अच्छा लगता था उनसे मिलके. मैं तो इतना ही बोलूंगा, और श्री ठाकुर जी का श्री चरण में प्रार्थना है कि उनको आत्मा को सद्गति मिले. प्रणाम. जय गुरु.
जय गुरु. उषा.
जय गुरु भाई. We have been hearing from Vijay Bhai, Kana Bhai, and Jugal Bhai. I would say my mother was a woman of quite strength, and she had a grace. She grew up in a joint family as a youngest child, and got married again into another joint family where she was the eldest daughter-in-law. So she was just 16, and at that tender age, she transitioned from a carefree girl into a bahu carrying immense responsibility and, of course, expectations. She accepted this role, learning to balance them with dignity and resolve. And I would say that shaped her life with resilience and persistence. And she ensured that I learned these values from her. My mother played many roles. She was a daughter-in-law, a sister-in-law, mother, wife, and many more. But she never lost herself in any of them. She had a quiet pride in how she carried herself. She was always well-dressed, never shabby, and always had a very pleasant fragrance, which I still remember. When I returned from school, my mom always ensured that, food was ready and waiting. Like Jugal, I just mentioned, it was so important that all her children should be well fed. When I talk about all her children, it's just not my brother or me, but children around her. So when I returned from school, she would meet me at the top of the stairs, take my bag, and send me to change out of my school tunic. At that age, I could never bear hunger. And if food was not ready or if food was delayed, I would start crying. She knew this, she understood this, and she made sure that my after school snacks was always ready and something that I really liked. She taught me that effort, hard work, and focus matters. She was not an easy woman. She was a tough woman, and who never allowed me to take any shortcut. She was a strict disciplinarian. Of course, she expected the best, and I would get frequently yelled at if I did not meet her standards. She ensured that I not only learned household responsibilities along with studies, but also that the values of the family, I carry them with me. Education was definitely very important to her. She taught me until grade 3. My mother never went for higher studies. And for subjects that she was unfamiliar with, especially English, she would prepare in advance, seeking help from other members in the family, and then sit with me patiently until I understood. And mother's patience, I would say all mother's patience is tremendous, and they ensure that the children learn to the best of their abilities. Now, faith or religion was central to my mother's life. As long as I can remember, she always had a small mandir at home with Jagannath and other deities. My mother did not belong to any of our sanghas. However, when I left India, I recall I wanted to bring Thakura's Vigraha with me, and she did not allow me to take that Vigraha. She said that she wanted to continue with the daily puja. And she performed the puja twice, offered Dippa, Dhuppa, Pranami, Prasad in her own simple, devoted way. And she continued doing that for 25 years, as long as her health permitted. I cannot ever say that, one day she missed, or one time she missed her puja for Thakura. My mother set boundaries for me. She gave me freedom. And however, she ensured that I was safe. I remember playing cricket and board games with my uncles, their friends, my cousins. And I was the first girl in the family, in my family, to attend the English medium school. So that's what I said, that she really fought a lot of battles for me to give me that independence and that education, but she did it stoically. After my father's passing away, which was 2 years back, she slowly lost her will to live. Now, earlier this year, in July, when my Mausi Sakundarama passed away, it really affected her because the bond between the sisters was very strong. I remember she would tell me every week, do you know Saku passed away? My Mausi's nickname was Saku. Do you know Saku passed away? I would say, yes, Ma, I know. Acha. And every week she would mention that. That really, I feel, affected her. However, I would say my mother passed away peacefully, just as she has wished. She was home and she was surrounded by her family. May our Thakura give her soul eternal peace, and may she rest in peace. Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. भाई मैंने माने हमें टिके ठिया आइकरी ठाकुर पाखरे मां को पाई मां को आत्मार सद्गति और शांति पाई प्रार्थना करिबा गोटे मिनिट जय गुरु नीरव जप करिबा जय गुरु I will start now. जय गुरु जय गुरु निहार भाई प्रार्थना सहित
जीवन रे फूल फुटिथिले सीना मरण रे बास चहटिब जीवन रे फूल फुटिथिले सीना मरण रे बास चहटिब नथिले गगने बीड़ नीरज नथिले गगने बीड़ नीरज धार काहू बरसिब निरधार काहू बरसिब निरधार काहू बरसिब निरधार काहू बरसिब करिथिले गान करिथिले गान दुख हारी गुरु आम गुण मान दुख हारी गुरु नाम गुण मान परणे से नाम गाई गाई मन मरणे से नाम गाई गाई मन पर फूल करे पूरी जीव पर फूल करे पूरी जीव अरणि पास छटिब अरणि पास छटिब पर करी बेले परम पतिंकी अनाथर नाथ अगति गतिंकी पर करी बेले परम पतिंकी अनाथर नाथ अगति गतिंकी अमर मंदिरे किए नेई कह अमर मंदिरे किए नेई कह प्रीति पलंतरे ओसाइब प्रीति पलंतरे ओसाइब मरणि भास छटिब मरणि भास छटिब बुझिथिले सिना श्री गुरु चरण मरण होइब अमृत सपान बुझिथिले सिना श्री गुरु चरण मरण होइब अमृत सोपान कोटि जनमर शून्य भिक्षा झूली कोटि जनमर शून्य भिक्षा झूली करुणा दान हरि जीव करुणा दान हरि जीव मरणरे बास छटिब मरणरे बास छटिब जीवन रे फूल फुटिथिले सिना मरण रे बास छटिब नथिले गगने निबिड़ निरंतर निराधार काहू बरसिब निराधार काहू बरसिब निराधार काहू बरसिब। जय गुरु।
Jayaguru. We'll start the YA session. Ashrita, YA Pratna Sumito.
Jayaguru. सत्य मोरे भाग्य है बाकी सत्य मोरे भाग्य है बाकी ए मोर संसार आसार सुमई ए मोर संसार आसार सुमई चरण देवी प्रणवी की चरण देवी प्रणवी की सत्य मोरे मते तुम अर्चना हुए केहू मते तुम अर्चना हुए न जाने मन जाऊची संखी न जाने मन जाऊची संखी खाई दिया में ठाकुर सिखाई दिया में ठाकुर जोगा हुए तुम सेवा पाई की सत्य मोरे भाग्य है बाकी तुम्हें बिना देवा कोते वैभवा तुम बिने देवा कोटि वैभवा सुंदर नरेश बिने आखी की सुंदर नरेश बिने आखी की अंतर अंतर हुए निरंतर अंतर अंतर हुआ निरंतर जुड़े विक्षमा के हेति की सत्य मोरे भाग्य है बाकी सत्य मोरे भाग्य है बाकी करुणा निदान करो हे विधान करुणा निदान करो हे विधान करुणा निदान करो हे विधान तुम देखो जय गुरु नाम तुंदे अति प्रभु जय गुरु नाम तुंदे अति प्रभु मन प्राण उठे पुलकी सचे मोरे भाग्य है बाकी सचे मोरे भाग्य है बाकी नयन उन्नीवा जय बराबर नयन उन्नीवा जय बराबर जुई जुई तुम काम छवि की जुई जुई तुम काम छवि की जीवाय जीवन दिया दर्शन जीवाय जीवन दिया दर्शन जीवा जाऊ नाथ तुमको ताकि सत्य मोरे भाग्य है बाकी सत्य मोरे भाग्य है बाकी ए मोर संसार आसार सुमाई ए मोर संसार आसार सुमाई चरण देवी रवि की सत्य मोरे भाग्य है बाकी Jai Guru.
Jayaguru young aspirants, we'll start with attendance and then I'll ask Ashrita to explain the meaning of the song she just sang. Aditi?
Jai Guru.
Jayaguru. Adhibasa? Icy?
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru Anhik?
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru Ansh.
Jayaguru, he's coming.
Jayaguru Anshul. Arnav.
Jayaguru Arnav isn't here.
Jayaguru Aryan.
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru Ashrita. He's here. Jamu.
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru Divyam. Timmy.
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru Jagrat.
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru Nitik.
Jayaguru Ma.
Jayaguru Nivritti.
Jayaguru Ma.
Jayaguru Pratisha.
Jayaguru Ma.
Jayaguru Prayushi.
Jayaguru Ma.
Jayaguru Sanjeev.
Jayaguru Ma.
Jayaguru Sharanya.
Jayaguru Ma.
Jayaguru Saraswat.
Jayaguru Ma.
Jayaguru Charles.
Jayaguru Ma.
Jayaguru Sarsak. Bobby.
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru Shilpi.
Jayaguru Ma.
Jayaguru Shreyasi.
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru Jimmy.
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru Simran.
Jayaguru Ma.
Jayaguru Shrija.
Jayaguru Ma.
Jayaguru Suhani.
Jayaguru Ma.
Jayaguru Yukta.
Jayaguru Ma.
Jayaguru. Was there anyone that came in after or who I missed? Okay, if not, Ashrita, can you explain the meaning of the song you just sang?
This song means that I feel very lucky to surrender my life at the feet of Shree Shree Thakur Maharaj and give up the worldly desires. I accept that I do not know the right way to worship, so I humbly ask Shree Shree Thakur Maharaj to teach me. I realize that wealth, beauty, and comfort have no value without him. I pray that Shree Shree Thakur Maharaj should always live in my heart and that I may remember his name every moment. With tears of devotion, I ask for the divine vision of Shree Shree Thakur Maharaj, because seeing him is the true purpose of my life. Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. It's another beautiful devotional song, and today, transitioning into what we're reading today, we have been reading the Gita. We're in chapter 10. We will continue that, and that we talk about how the most important thing, the only true thing, connection that we have is with Thakura, and to have that level of devotion, we've talked about that being something we want to cultivate, and part of that and how that's possible, why we want to cultivate that, is because of who he is. And so in chapter 10 of the Gita, we read Arjuna had asked Lord Krishna to explain again who Lord Krishna is, and the explanation he's giving is also the explanation of who Thakura really is. So before we get into more of this description of Lord Krishna explaining through various comparisons of who he is, why is it important for us to understand who Krishna or Thakura are truly. Saraswat, why do you think it's important for us to understand who Thakura is or who Krishna is, to truly understand that?
Jayaguru, I think it's important to understand who Thakura truly is, because once we find that out, I think we can understand what he wants from us. Jayaguru?
Yeah. Understanding who he is truly, like really understanding that we can understand what he wants from us, we can understand his guidance, and we'll get to this in the Gita itself. We've read that understanding who he truly is, Krishna or Thakura, however we're thinking about it, if we understand that, as we understand him better, we understand his guidance for us better, and his guidance is what's getting us on the spiritual path. But once we really understand who he is truly and fully, that is what is going to get us to enlightenment, get us to our goal in our spiritual path. And so that's why we want to know this. And that's why in the previous part, when Arjuna asked Lord Krishna to explain who he is again, because he has said it in previous chapters, he said, I can't tire of hearing about this. I can't tire of hearing more about who you are. And I can listen to this essentially. He's saying you can listen to this all day because it is so important and it is so vast. So before we get into this, we started in the last part that we read, in the last verses, but it's going to continue here, where he's explaining who he is by talking about kind of other comparisons or explaining other things in the world and giving those kinds of explanations. What do we know about Thakura and Lord Krishna? Who are they, or how would we describe who they are? Ansh, who is Thakura? Who is Lord Krishna?
Shreya, he's not here yet.
Okay. Gemma, can you answer that question?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yes. Who is Thakura? Who is Lord Krishna?
Lord Krishna, like in simple terms, like I'm kind of confused.
So in the sense of when we're thinking of them, the thing that they both are that we have established in the Gita that we've talked about, and it's the reason that we're worshiping them. Who are they? That's the same thing, be it Krishna or Thakura.
Well, Krishna or Thakura is just our guru, but ultimately they both are kind of part of Brahma.
Yeah. So we're talking about them. So we're reading the Gita, so it is Krishna saying it, but we can apply all of this knowledge to Thakura because Thakura is our guru, and we also we see him as Brahman and that relation. And when we worship him and we think about him in these same ways. So for us, when we think of Brahman, when we think of all the spiritual things, we see Thakura. So that's why I'm equating them here, because it is the same. But Krishna has said, says, they are Brahman. And what we're trying to do here is, so we think about Brahman as it translates as God. It's this ultimate manifestation of God. And what Krishna is trying to do is, he said this already, but he's trying to explain what that means and what that looks like, and what that really is. Because when we talk about God and we're trying to describe what that is, it might be difficult to really understand that concept. And like you said, very few people truly understand that concept. because it is a difficult thing to grasp with our limited experiences in this world. So I'm not going to ask this I'm not going to ask anyone to answer this right now, but as we're reading through these verses, I want you all to think about what the true nature of Brahman, of Lord Krishna, of Thakura, listening to these verses, what is that true nature? What is Brahman according to all of these descriptors that Lord Krishna is going to give us in these following verses? And also, how would we, with what our understanding of what Brahman is and what this concept is, of who Thakura is, how would we describe this if we were trying to describe this concept? So we'll read it, we'll talk about how it's being described here, but think about how would you put that in your own words, or how would you conceive of this concept or think about it? And if we have time, we'll talk about it at the end, but that's really the main point coming in this chapter. With that, Sanvi, do you have the reading in front of you? Can you read the verses for us today?
Jayaguru, yes. Jayaguru, Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, part 3. Verse 24. O Arjun, amongst priests I am Brihaspati, amongst warrior chiefs I am Kartikeya, and amongst reservoirs of water know me to be the ocean. Verse 25. I am Rigu amongst the great seers, and the transcendental Om amongst sounds. Amongst chants know me to be the repetition of the holy name. Amongst immovable things I am the Himalayas. Verse 26. Amongst trees I am the peepal tree, sacred fig tree. Of the celestial sages I am Narad. Amongst the Gandharvas I am Chitrat, and amongst the Siddhas I am sage Kapil. Verse 27. Amongst horses know me to be Uchaishrava, begotten from the churning of the ocean of nectar. I am Airavata amongst all lordly elephants, and the king amongst humans. Verse 28. I am the Vajra or thunderbolt amongst weapons, and Kamadhenu amongst the cows. I am Kamdev, the god of love, amongst all causes for procreation, and amongst serpents I am Vasuki. Verse 29. Amongst the snakes I am Anand. Amongst aquatics I am Varun. Amongst the departed ancestors I am Aryama. Amongst dispensers of law I am Yamraj, the Lord of Death. Verse 30. I am Prahlad amongst the demons. Amongst measurements I am time. Know me to be the lion amongst animals, and Garud amongst the birds. Verse 31. Amongst purifiers I am the wind, and amongst wielders of weapons I am Lord Ram. Of water creatures I am the crocodile, and of flowing rivers I am the Ganges. Verse 32. O Arjun, know me to be the beginning, middle, and end of all creation. Amongst sciences I am the science of spirituality, and in debates I am the logical conclusion. Verse 33. I am the beginning A amongst all letters. I am the dual word in grammatical compounds. I am the endless time, and amongst creators I am Brahma. Jayaguru.
Jayaguru, thank you for reading that for us. Before we get into our discussion, are there any, does anyone need anything defined or explained? Okay, if not. So again here, and he had started this in the previous few verses, Lord Krishna is explaining who he is by making these comparisons. He's giving us groups and then saying, if you think about this group, this is who I am, and giving these comparisons to explain. And all of these comparisons he's giving are related to and would be they're all he's giving these comparisons from Hindu mythology. So these would be things if Arjuna is listening, he should be familiar with these. So I'm going to take a few examples because he's making a lot of we're going to be kind of getting at the same general point here with all of these comparisons. So in verse 25, he says that he is Om amongst sounds. So Shrija, can you do you know what the significance of the sound Om is? And from there, what do you think it means if Brahman is Om amongst the sounds?
Jayaguru, Om can be used for chanting, and maybe like in this case, it can be used to find peace amongst like loud or not like the best sounds. Jayaguru?
Yeah, so Om, it's called, I think in other translations I see it, so it's transcendental Om. It's this kind of primordial sound, and we think of it, we use it a lot in chanting, we use it a lot to give us peace. Saying Om has this significance and this power to it, a spiritual energy to it. We've talked about, like we use, so Om is this sound amongst sounds that seems to have this power. So it's, we can think of it as like the most powerful of the sounds, the most spiritually aligned of all of the sounds that we can make. That's Om. And then he also says, amongst chants, know me to be the repetition of the holy name. We've talked about this at other points before of Japa, where we, when we say Jayaguru, that has a power to it, and when we're chanting that, he's equating himself to that, of the power of chanting and the power of Om. So then another thing he says, and he's giving, like amongst priests, amongst warrior chiefs, he's kind of giving divisions of beings, of devatas, and he's giving a lot of the people that are kind of the heads of that, or the examples of that. So he mentions in verse 27, he mentions the story of the turning of the ocean of nectar. Does anyone know that story? It's okay if it's okay if not. We can read that at some other point, but he's basically saying there's a story where the demons and the gods churn the ocean to get holy nectar, and that gives them mortality and power, and other things there are other things that were begotten from churning the ocean, all of which are gifts. So it talks about this amongst the horses, Ujjayi Shava, which again kind of denotes that it's the best of, or highest of. So then in verse 30, he says he's Prahlad amongst the demons, amongst measurements, he is time. So with those comparisons in verse 30, what do we think that means? So he says he's Prahlad amongst the demons, and amongst the measurements, he is time. I think looking at those two comparisons, what do you think those two comparisons are telling us about Brahman?
Jayaguru, I guess, it means that he's like everything, and everlasting, Jayaguru?
Yeah, so he's saying he is saying he is everything. He is saying, when we think of time, and he mentions it in verse 30 and verse 33 as well, a separate thing. So amongst measurements, he's time. He's talking about like all of the ways that we measure things around us. He's time, and then he also says he is endless time. So that in verse 33, which he's referring to, like you said, being eternal, being eternal, meaning no matter what time period, no matter where, when, always being there and being present. That's a concept that we have, and we know him to be everything, which he kind of gets to when he says beginning, middle, and end of all creation. He's kind of everything, and he is everywhere, and he is present in all times, which is a lot to kind of grasp there. So then, looking through all of these comparisons, so one thing we note is a lot of them are showing us how he is everything, and he is everywhere, and he is in every time. What else is he telling us about himself? Aryan, what else do you think, looking at all of these comparisons he's making, other than kind of showing the omnipresence and omnipresence and like being everywhere, everything, all the time, what else is he telling us about Brahman? Looking at these comparisons, Aryan?
I think my main takeaway was that like he is everything, like with all these analogies. Like he says at the end, like he's the beginning, middle, and end of all creation. So he's like the all-encompassing Brahman.
Yeah, he's mentioning he is all-encompassing, he is everything. Another thing to point out in a lot of these, he is pointing out things where he is, he's kind of like he is saying he's everything by showing, like he's giving all of these categories of things, and he's saying he is one of those things. And he also shows himself as the supreme version of those things. So, amongst the sounds, that's the most powerful sound. So there's a sense of both. He is all of these things. He is everything. And he's also the supreme in all of those things. So that all-encompassing sense is also there. Like with these, obviously, these are all going to be comparisons based in mythology. And understanding of that comes. So like these comparisons are really helpful when that's what your knowledge is. But we can also make this comparison in trying to describe who he is with just trying to describe, we can do this with anything. So there will be more comparisons that we'll read in the next time, but as you're thinking about it, as you are reading this, as you're thinking about this in between time, really think about how do we describe Brahman and how do we understand him? Because we will see this, we see these concepts of omnipresence and omnipotence. Try to wrap your head around what that means and how you would describe it for our next time as we see more comparisons. Talk about it. So with that, we are out of time. And I believe Jagra says that's a good way. So Jagra, when you're ready, Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. I'm thankful for my brothers. They teach the working kids, talking, walking, running, and singing and drinking are all examples of parents that manage mistakes. They brings another fact. It teaches math, reading, discipline, writing, foreign languages, and Latin. These are also very important things. What I think is the most important is reading and writing. Fables and poems are a part of reading and writing. They tend to have lessons in them. As I am moving into my grade, these lessons help me understand my ups and downs. I will read some fables and tell the moral of them. The evil and the earth. An equal thorn through the earth than a suddenly declares the wisdom from Arab. As the stars to the wind, it descended to the earth with the eagle's was flowing down. Looking at the arrow that pierced his body, it found that the shaft of the arrow had been feathered through the with one of the wings. Alas, it cried, as it died. The moral of the fable tells that we are key enemies for our own destruction. The ant and the grasshopper. In a field one summer day, a grasshopper was singing to itself instead of working. When it saw very hard-working man carrying an ear corn back to its home. The grasshopper asked the ant, "Why bother us about winter?" For when winter came, the grasshopper died of hunger while the ant worked through the hard work and determination. The moral of the table is that working hard leads to greater success and is best to prepare for days of necessity. The oxen and the axle. A heavy wagon was being dragged around the country lane by oxen. The axle was stirring. The oxen asked, "Why do you make so much noise?" The oxen do hard work, and we don't do that. The Bible tells that the people who put themselves in people's favor don't start out as much.
Jayaguru Banima.
ଜୟଗୁରୁ ଆଜି ପାଳି ଅଛି ମୋର ତ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କ ପାଖକୁ ଛୋଟବେଳଠୁ ମାନେ ମୁଁ ଆସେ ଛୋଟବେଳଠୁ ସବୁବେଳେ ଆମେ ମାନେ ଆଶ୍ରମ ମାନେ ରବିବାରଟା ଯେମିତି ନର୍ମାଲ ଓଡ଼ିଆ ଘରେ ରବିବାରଟା ଗୋଟେ ଅଲଗା ପ୍ରକାର ଥାଏ। ଠାକୁରଙ୍କ ପାଇଁ ଘରେ ଆମର ରବିବାର ମାନେ ଗୋଟେ ମାନେ ବହୁତ ଡିଫରେଣ୍ଟ ଫିଲିଂ। ଆଉ ରବିବାର ହେଲା ମାନେ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କ ଆଶ୍ରମ ଯିବୁ, ତା ପୂର୍ବରୁ ସବୁ ଆମେ ସବୁ ରେଡି କରିକି ତା ରାତିରେ ରଖିକି ଗୋଟେ ଏକ୍ସାଇଟମେଣ୍ଟ ଥାଏ କି ହଁ ରବିବାର ଆଶ୍ରମ ଯିବୁ, ଆମେ ଆମର ଯାହାବି ପୂଜା ହବ, କୀର୍ତ୍ତନ କରିବୁ, ମାନେ ସେ ଫିଲିଙ୍ଗସଟା ବହୁତ ଡିଫରେଣ୍ଟ ଥିଲା ଛୋଟବେଳଠୁ। ଆଉ ସବୁବେଳେ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କୁ ମାନେ ଆମର ହେଡ୍ ଭଳିଆ ଘରେ ବି ଆମେ ଦେଖି ଆସୁଛୁ କି ସବୁ ଗୋଟେ ଅଲଗା ରୁମ୍, ଠାକୁରଙ୍କୁ ଆମର ହେଡ୍ ଅଫ୍ ଦ ଫ୍ୟାମିଲି ଭଳିଆ ଟ୍ରିଟମେଣ୍ଟ ସବୁବେଳେ। ସବୁ ଜିନିଷ ଯାହା ବି ଆସିବ ଆଗେ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କ ପାଇଁ ରଖାହବ, ଠାକୁରଙ୍କୁ ତାପରେ ଯାଇକି ଘରେ ଇଏ ହବ ଯୁଆଡ଼େ। ଆଉ ସବୁବେଳେ ଆମର ଘରେ ମା ବି କହିଛନ୍ତି ମାନେ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କୁ କିଛି ମାଗନି, ତମେ ମାଗନି କିଛି, ବଟ୍ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କୁ ସବୁବେଳେ ଜଣେଇକି ସବୁ କଥା ଜଣାଅ, ସବୁବେଳେ ସବୁ ଜିନିଷ ତାଙ୍କୁ ଜଣେଇକି କରିବ। ଯୁଆଡ଼େ ଘରକୁ ଘରୁ ବାହାରିଲ କି କ'ଣ ସବୁବେଳେ ଜଣେଇକି କରିବ। ଆଉ ସେଇଟା ବି ସବୁବେଳେ ମୁଁ ମାନେ ଭୁଲ ହେଇଯାଏ ପଛରେ ପଛରେ, ବଟ୍ ସବୁବେଳେ ଚାହେଁକି ହଁ ମୁଁ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କୁ ସବୁ ଜିନିଷ ଜଣେଇକି କରିବି। ଠିକ୍ ହଉ ଭୁଲ ହଉ ସବୁବେଳେ ଜଣେଇକି କରିବି। ଆଉ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କୁ ସେ ତ ଠାକୁର ତ ଆମକୁ କହିଛନ୍ତି ମୁଁ ତମର ନିତ୍ୟ ପାର୍ଶ୍ୱଦ, ତମେ ସବୁବେଳେ ତମ ପାଖେ ପାଖେ ଆମର ଠାକୁର ଅଛନ୍ତି। ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ବଳୟ ଭିତରେ ଆମକୁ ରଖିଛନ୍ତି, ଖାଲି କହିଛନ୍ତି ଆମକୁ ତମେ ଭଲ ପାଅ ମତେ। ସେଇଟା ବି ନିତ୍ୟ ଜଗତରେ ଆସିକି ଆମର ବହୁତ ମାନେ ଭୁଲ ହେଇଯାଉଛି। ଆମେ ସେଇଟା ବି ମଝିରେ ମଝିରେ ମୋର ବି
भूली जाऊँ सेटा कि हाँ ठाकुर को जणियार अच्छे ठाकुर को जयगुरु नाम नबार अच्छी सेटा भूली जाऊँ छोट बड़ा पे कुमारी संघ को जाऊली सेटा ठाकुर को मत लगे आमर जी माने सिचुएशन लाइफ रे जी भी देखीचु मत लगे मुझे कुमारी संघ जाई न था मोर से जिनसा को टैकल कर माने वेटा बहुत ही अलग था आ कुमारी संघ जो तार जितकी भी व्यस्त विव्रत जितकी भी जहाँ भी सिचुएशन आसी माने ताको केमिति हैंडल करिया तार शक्ति तार केमिति करियर अच्छी सेटा माने मोर कैरेक्टर मोर मनीष मु केमिति बनी सेटा मते बहुत माने मते बहुत शिक्षा मिली कुमारी संघ ठाकुर को जो मु परिचय पत्र भी कली आमर से आमर डिस्कशन सभापति भाई करते कि परिचय पत्र जब करुच तुम माने तुम गोटे ठाकुर बलय भितर रहिल तुम कि भी ना तुम्हें माने एमती ना कि दुख आसबनी एमती ना कि सब बड़े भल चलते सेटा नहीं बट तुम ठाकुर गोटे बलय भितर रहिल सी तुम कथा बुझे सेटा आउ सब बड़े माने सब ट्राए कर हम नहीं परिचय पत्र पाठटा करी सबुदिन जहाँ भी हो सेटा मु सब बड़े माने ट्राए करे हाँ नहीं सेटा भूल न हो केबे ठाकुर को ठाकुर कृपा बड़े माने जहाँ लाइक छुआ भी मैंने ठाकुर को इनक्लाइन टुवर्ड्स लाइक स्पिरिचुअलिटी सेटा ठाकुर कृपा ठाकुर चरण में भिक्षा कर चरण मत स्थान दे जयगुरु
जयगुरु माँ कहले ठाकुर आदेश उपदेश कौन पालन कर सेटा तो ठाकुर निर्देश ना भाव विना ठाकुर
हाँ भाई
ठीक अच्छे हाँ मुझे ठाकुर आदेश उपदेश कौन पालन कर ठाकुर निर्देश भाव विनिमय निजे
ठाकुर आमर जी नियम आमर आज्ञा आज्ञा जय ठाकुर जो आज्ञा आज्ञा दिनलिपिटा मु एक्चुअली दिनलिपि मु एठी पालन करि पारिनी मत सेटा माने बहुत मत सेटा करियर अछि सेटा जाहले भी माने नेक्स्ट ईयर जेमते ले मु सेटा पालन करबे छोटोड आम मैंने जो जाऊला दिनलिपि पूरण करूँ तर आदेश जी आमको ब्राह्म मुहूर्त सज्जा त्याग सेटा सेटा भी सब बड़े आमर हो पारुनी ठाकुर ये आदेश आमती आम लाइक सत्यता सत्य आउ निजर कहार पर चर्चा पर निंदा से जिनसा मु सब माने मु निज लाइफ रे सेटा सब पालन करे कि नहीं मु पर निंदा पर चर्चा तो केबे भी करिबिनी जोटी होची मु सेठू पळे आसीबी कि कौन किंतु पर निंदा पर चर्चा करिबिनी मिछ कहिबिनी से स्वाध्यायटा भी मोर माने जो आमर सबुदिन स्वाध्याय लेक्ची सेटा मोर हो पारुनी सेटा पे भी माने जो टाइम मिलूची मु करुची तथापि किंतु से स्वाध्यायटा जो आमर रेगुलर करियर अच्छी सेटा मोर होउनी ठाकुर भावधारा चलिकी ठाकुर ठाकुर बहुत सारा नियम अच्छी माने हाँ माने मुझे दिनलिपि पालनटा भी मत करियर अच्छी सेटा मु ठीक से करि पाउनी आमर माँ सब कहते कि तमे दिनलिपि करुच सब ना लिखुच ना लिखुच ठीक अच्छे किसी असुविधा ना तमें किंतु पूरण कर जदि पालन करिपारन भीतर जिनस भी ठीक अच्छे किंतु तमे पूरण करिकी ठाकुर को पादरे दिया से शक्तिटा तुमको मिलिबो धीरे धीरे तुमको तमे सब जहाँ नियम अच्छी तमे पालन करिबो तापर धीरे धीरे सेटा मोर अच्छी कि हम पालन करी नेक्स्ट ईयर जहाँ भी जय गुरु
आज्ञा और जय उषा बा
जय गुरु losing a parent is never easy. I lost mine, both of them within a span of 2 years. With time, I'm told one learns to adapt and live with the pain. I once recall a friend of mine, older and wiser, told me that grief is like carrying a rock in your pocket. Over time, you grow stronger and learn how to bear its weight. But it never really goes away. It never really disappears. I'm still not over my father's passing away when I was struck by the loss of my mother. Some days, this grief comes without warning. I keep myself busy with chores, meaningless work, so my mind does not linger on what I have lost. Thakur is my only true solace now. We read we say in our pratna the words Tumeva Mata Chapita Tumeva. This has taken a new meaning which I never truly understood before. Thakur was always present in my life, but in this time of loss, I feel his presence differently, steadier, closer, and more encompassing. In moments of silence and uncertainty, I turn to him for the strength, and the strength that once I got from my parents. It feels as though actually he's carrying me forward. I remember in a YA session, there was a story once where the Lord walks beside his devotee, and only when one set of footprints remain, it is because he is carrying them. This is the way I feel he's carrying me. He fills the space my parents left behind with that quiet reassurance that I am here for you. All I pray for is the Shanti for the souls of my parents, and that they remain with him, embraced in his eternal peace. Jai Guru.
ଆପଣ ତ କିଛି କହିଲେନି ଆଉ ମା ଠାକୁର କଥା କିଛି କହିଲେନି। ଠିକ ଅଛି
ଆଜ୍ଞା ଭାଇ କଣ କହିବାକୁ କହିଲେ?
ମୁଁ କହିଲି ଠାକୁରଙ୍କର ଆପଣ ତ ଅଛନ୍ତି କ୍ଲାସରେ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କର କଣ ସବୁ ନିୟମ ପାଳନ କରୁଛନ୍ତି ଆଦେଶ ଉପଦେଶ କଣ?
ଓହୋ ଭାଇ ଓକେ ଆଚ୍ଛା ନିୟମ ପାଳନ ଭାଇ ମୁଁ ଦିନଲିପି ତ ରୋଜ every day I do the ଦିନଲିପି. Only last month I couldn't do it. I did it for the first 10-12 days. तापरे मैं करी पालेनी. And सखले ब्रह्म मुहूर्तरे मो उठी पारुनी. My sleeping time and my wake up time टिके participate ही जाउची. I do my morning puja every day, morning and evening puja. I read my books. I read the Mahavakya. I try to exercise. I try to refrain from gossiping and not telling, keep away from telling from untruths. I won't say lies. And I think as for the Dinolipo, yeah, I definitely feel that there are more that I say no than I say yes, but I religiously do fill up my Dinolipi. But I have never missed a puja if I'm home. So that I do it, and I always read my books. That gives me the strength along with my Parichaya Patra and my Mahavakya. And I do my Kriya once a day, definitely. Sometimes I miss it, like last month I didn't do it. And this month, because of all my jet lag and all, I missed it for a few days, but I'm back onto the routine of doing it. Jai Guru.
Nice. Jai. Devi bhai, Devidas bhai.
Jai Guru. ଠାକୁର ଭାଇ ମା ମାନେ ମୋର ଆଜି ପାଳି ସେବା ଭାବ ବିନ୍ୟାସ ବି କଥା ପ୍ରସଙ୍ଗରେ କିଛି ଯଦି କହିଦେବି କ୍ଷମା କରିଦେବେ। ଭାବ କେତେ କ'ଣ କେତେବେଳେ କହିଦେଉଛି ବି ଜାଣିପାରୁନି ମୁଁ ନିଜେ। କିଛିଟା ଜିନିଷ ସେୟାର କରିବାକୁ ଚାହୁଁଛି। ମୁଁ ତ ବୋଧେ ବହୁତ ଦିନ ହେଲାଣି ବର୍ଷେ ଉପରେ ହେଲାଣି ପରେ ସଂଘ ପୂଜା ଜଏନ୍ ବି କରିନି। ଆଉ ଲଟ୍ ଅଫ୍ ଥିଙ୍ଗସ୍ ସବୁ କେମିତି କ'ଣ କୁହାଯିବ ଜଣା ବି ନାହିଁ, କିନ୍ତୁ ମନରେ ବହୁତ ଜିନିଷ ଅଛି। ସପ୍ତାହ ହେଲା ଭାବୁଥିଲି ଯେ ଭାବିନି କ'ଣ ବି କରିବି, କେମିତି କ'ଣ କରିବି। ବହୁତ ଜିନିଷ ଲଷ୍ଟ ହେଇଗଲେ ବି କିଛିଟା ଜିନିଷ ସେୟାର କରି ଚେଷ୍ଟା କରିବି। ଲାଷ୍ଟ 1.5 year 2 years ହେଲା, so life has lot changed from our perspective. ଆମେ ଦେଖିଲୁ ଯେ ସବୁବେଳେ ଆମର ଇଚ୍ଛା ଥିଲା ଯେ ବାପାଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ ରହିବା ପାଇଁ। ମୋର ବହୁତ ଇଚ୍ଛା ଥିଲା, ମାଙ୍କର ବି ବହୁତ ଇଚ୍ଛା ଥିଲା। ଆମେ ବହୁତ ଚାହୁଁଥିଲୁ ଯେ ଡାଡିଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ ରହିବୁ। ଆମେ ପ୍ଲାନ୍ ବି କରିଦେଇଥିଲୁ ଯେ ନାଇଁ ଆମେ ୱିଲ୍ ମୁଭ୍ ବ୍ୟାକ୍ ଟୁ ଇଣ୍ଡିଆ, ଡାଡିଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ କିଛି ସମୟ ବିତେଇବାକୁ ଚାହୁଁଛି। ସେମିତି ସିଚୁଏସନ୍ ଆମେ ଭାବି ରହିଗଲୁ, କିନ୍ତୁ ସିଚୁଏସନ୍ ହେଲା ଯେ ଆମକୁ ଫୋର୍ସଫୁଲି ଯିବାକୁ ପଡ଼ିଲା ଇଣ୍ଡିଆ ଫର୍ ସମ୍ ରିଜନ୍ସ। ଆମେ ଗଲା ପରେ ବହୁତ ସମୟ ଆମେ ଭୁବନେଶ୍ୱର ହିଁ ଥିଲୁ। ଆଜିକାଲି ତ ରିମୋଟ୍ ୱାର୍କ ଚାଲିଛି, ତ ରିମୋଟ୍ ହଉ କି ହାଇବ୍ରିଡ୍ ମୋଡ୍ ବି ହେଲେ ବି, ତ ଆଇ ୱାଜ୍ ଫର୍ଚୁନେଟ୍ ଏନଫ୍ ଟୁ ଗେଟ୍ ଏ ପୋଜିସନ୍ ଇନ୍ ଭୁବନେଶ୍ୱର ଇଟସେଲ୍ଫ। ବାପାଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ ରହିଲି, ବହୁତ ମନ ବହୁତ ଖୁସି ବି ଥିଲା ଯେ ବାପାଙ୍କୁ, କିନ୍ତୁ ନେଭର ସେଟଲ୍ ଡାଉନ୍ ହେଇପାରିଲାନି। ଆମେ ଏପଟ ସେପଟ ହେଇକି ରହୁଥିଲୁ। ବହୁତ ଜିନିଷ ବହୁତ ଟାଇମ୍ରେ ରହିବାକୁ ପଡ଼ିଲେ ବି ଗୋଟେ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କର କୃପା ଆମେ ଦେଖିଲି ଯାହା ଡାଡିଙ୍କର ଯିବା ସମୟରେ ବି ଆମେ ରହିପାରିଲୁ। ସେଟା ଗୋଟେ ବ୍ଲେସିଂ, ବହୁତ ବଡ଼ ବ୍ଲେସିଂ ମୋ ପାଇଁ। ଆଟଲିଷ୍ଟ ମୁଁ ତ ଭାବିଲି ଯେ ଆମେ ସବୁବେଳେ ଭାବୁଥିଲେ ଯେ ଇଣ୍ଡିଆ ପଳେଇବୁ, ରହିବୁ, ଡାଡିଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ ରହିବୁ। ସେ ତାଙ୍କ ଭଳିଆ ବାପା ପାଇବା ଏତେ ସବୁ କୋଉ କଥାରେ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କ କଥାରେ କିଛି କରନ୍ତିନି, କିନ୍ତୁ ନା ପୂଜା କରନ୍ତି, ନା ପାଠ କରନ୍ତି, ନା ପଇସା ପତ୍ର କରିଛନ୍ତି, କିନ୍ତୁ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କର ଭୋଗ ରନ୍ଧା, ଫୁଲ କେମିତି ଆସିବ, କି ଭୋଗ ରନ୍ଧା ମାନେ ଭୋଗ କିଣା ହବ କି ଫୁଲ ଗୁନ୍ଥା, ତାପରେ ପଳନ୍ତ ପୂଜା ବିଲକୁଲ ବି କରନ୍ତିନି। ଏତେ ଜିନିଷ ତାଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ ବହୁତ ପଜିଟିଭନେସ୍ ଥିଲା, ଆଉ ବହୁତ ଷ୍ଟ୍ରଙ୍ଗ ଆଟେଚ୍ ଥିଲେ। ଏମିତି ହଠାତ୍ ଆମେ ଅଭିତ୍ର ସ୍କୁଲ ସରିଲା, ଆମେ ପ୍ଲାନ୍ ବି କରିନଥିଲୁ, ତା ପୂର୍ବରୁ ଜଷ୍ଟ ଯାଇକି ଆସିଥିଲୁ। ତ ମା କହିଲେ ଚାଲ ଯିବା, ଛୁଟି ତ ଅଛି ନା କିଛି ଦିନ, ପୁଣି ଯିବା ଟିକେ ଯାଇକି ଆସିବା। ମୋର ଇଚ୍ଛା ନଥିଲା, କିନ୍ତୁ ଅଭିତ୍ର ଜବରଦସ୍ତି ଗଲା। ଗଲୁ 13 ତାରିଖରେ ହୋଲି ପୂର୍ବ ଦିନ, ତ ହୋଲିରେ ଯାଇକି ପହଞ୍ଚିଲୁ, ହୋଲି ଦିନ ପହଞ୍ଚିଲୁ। ଡାଡି ଠିକ୍ ଥିଲେ ସେତେବେଳକୁ, ମାନେ ହି ୱାଜ୍ ୱାର୍କିଂ, ସବୁ ଠିକ୍ ଥିଲା। ସଡନଲି ବେଡ୍ ରିଡନ୍ ହେଇଗଲେ, ମାନେ ୱିଦାଉଟ୍ ଏନି, କିଛି ଜଣେଇଲେନି, କିଛି ନାହିଁ କି କ'ଣ ଚାଲିଛି ତାଙ୍କର, କିଛି ନାହିଁ। କିଛି ଖାଇବାକୁ ଟିକେ ଅରୁଚି ହେଉଥିଲା। ତାହେଲେ ଏଭ୍ରି ଟାଇମ୍ ସବୁବେଳେ କହୁଥିଲେ ଯେ ମୁଁ ବୋନସ୍ ହିଁ ବଞ୍ଚୁଛି, ମତେ ଲାଗୁଛି ଯେ ମୁଁ 80 years କ୍ରସ୍ କରିଯିବି ତଥାପି। ଆଉ ଯେମିତି ଅମିତ୍ର ଜନ୍ମଦିନ ମାର୍ଚ୍ଚ 19ରେ, ସେତେବେଳେ ବିଶ୍ୱଥାଇ ତା ପୂର୍ବରୁ ମେସେଜ କରିଥିଲେ ଯେ ଭାଇ ପାଳି ରଖୁଛି ମାର୍ଚ୍ଚ 16କୁ। ମୁଁ କହିଲି ଭାଇ ଟିକେ ଚେଞ୍ଜ କରିଦିନ ଡିସେମ୍ବରକୁ। ତ ପ୍ଲାନ୍ ଥିଲା ଯେ ଡିସେମ୍ବରରେ ଯାଇକି ଯଦି ଠାକୁରଙ୍କ ପାଖକୁ ଯାଇକି ଜଏନ୍ କରିଦେବି ଆଶ୍ରମରେ, କିନ୍ତୁ ସେଥିରେ ବି କିଛି କମ୍ପ୍ଲେକ୍ସିଟିଜ୍ ରହିଗଲା, ତ ଆସିକି ପାରିଲିନି। ବାପାଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ ଥିଲୁ, ସିଏ ସେଇଠି ହିଁ ବେଡ୍ ରିଡନ୍ ହେଇଗଲେ। ତାର ଅମିତ୍ର ଜନ୍ମଦିନ ହିଁ ଲାଷ୍ଟ ଦିନ ସିଏ, ମୁଁ ଯେତିକି ଜାଣିବାରେ ସିଏ ଉଠିଥିଲେ, ଚଲାବୁଲା ଟିକେ କରିଥିଲେ, ତାପରଠୁ ଜମା ଉଠିଲେନି। କିନ୍ତୁ ଗୋଟେ ବାପାର ଲସ୍ ଯେମିତି ଉଷାମା କହୁଥିଲେ ନା, ମାନେ ଇଟ୍ସ ଭେରି ମଚ୍ ଅନଏକ୍ସପ୍ରେସିବଲ୍ ଟୁ ହାଉ ଟୁ ବି ପ୍ୟାରେଣ୍ଟ। ଆଉ ଏବେ ମାଇଣ୍ଡ ଷ୍ଟ୍ରକ୍ଚର ବି ସେମିତି କିଛି ଭଲ ବି ନାହିଁ। ଗୋଟେ ଜିନିଷ ଡାଡି ଠାକୁରଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ ଯୋଉଠି ଅଛନ୍ତି ଭଲରେ ଥାଆନ୍ତୁ, କିନ୍ତୁ ଜୀବନରେ ବହୁତ କିଛି କରିବାକୁ ଚେଷ୍ଟା କଲେ ବି ବହୁତ ଜିନିଷ ମିଷ୍ଟେକ୍ ବି ହେଇଛି। ମୁଁ ତାଙ୍କ କଥା ବହୁତ ଶୁଣିଲେ ବି କିଛି ଜିନିଷ ନଜରଅନ୍ଦାଜ ବି କରିଦେଇଛି। ଏଟା ପର୍ସନାଲ ଏଫର୍ଟ, କିନ୍ତୁ ରିଏଲାଇଜ୍ କରୁଛି ଯେ ତାଙ୍କର କଥା ବି ମାନିବାକୁ ଏବେ ଯୋଉଟା ସେ କହିଛନ୍ତି। ଆଉ ଏବେ ସେ ସ୍ମୃତି ହେଇକି ଭିତରେ ରହିଲେ ବି ତାଙ୍କ ଗାଇଡାନ୍ସ ବି ରହିବ। ବିଇଙ୍ଗ ଏ ଫାଦର, ହି ହାଜ୍ ଡନ୍ ଏଭ୍ରିଥିଙ୍ଗ। ଆଉ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କର ବଡ଼ ବ୍ଲେସିଂ ଯେ ଆମକୁ ଏ ସବୁ ନେଇ ପହଞ୍ଚେଇଲେ, ଯୋଉ ସମୟ ତାଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ ରହିପାରିଲୁ। ଅଲମୋଷ୍ଟ 6 months ବୋଧେ ରହିଥିଲୁ ତାଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ, ଏପଟ ସେପଟ ହେଇକି ବି। ଠାକୁରଙ୍କ କୃପା ଛଡ଼ା କିଛି ନୁହଁ। କାରଣ ଆମର ଗୋଟେ ଇଚ୍ଛା ଥିଲା, ଡାଡିଙ୍କର ଇଚ୍ଛା ଥିଲା ଆମେ ଏଠି ନ ରହୁ ଭୁବନେଶ୍ୱରରେ। somehow he was not willing, like ତମେ ଆଉ କୋଉଠି ରହୁଛ ରୁହ, ବାହାରେ ରୁହ, ବେଳେବେଳେ ଆସ, କିନ୍ତୁ ଇଚ୍ଛା କରୁନଥିଲେ ସେ। ପର୍ସନାଲ ଫ୍ରଣ୍ଟରେ ବର୍ଷେ ଉପରେ ହେଲାଣି ମୁଁ କିଛି ବି ନା ସଂଘ ଯିବା ଆସିବା, ନା ନିଜେ ବି କିଛି କରୁଛି। ଖାଲି ଠାକୁରଙ୍କୁ आश्रम सेवा पूजा हेतिकी करछि एतिकी कहि रहिबी ठाकुर भाई माने क्षमा कर देबे जे किसी भूल त्रुटि हेतिबो कहि करे आज भी आश्रम तो जाई परनी क्षमा कर दे
जय गुरुदेव भाई आपण ठाकुर को एनएसएम मध्याह्न भोग पे निमंत्रण करिवे भक्त मान को प्रसाद पाई निमंत्रण करिवे ठाकुर को संध्या पूजा भी निमंत्रण करिवे
ठाकुर महाराज एबे सेकेंड सेशन सरिया को जाछि आपन को भक्तों सहित मध्याह्न भोग और प्रसाद सेवन पे निमंत्रण आपन को मध्याह्न भोग पे निमंत्रण और भक्त मान को माने अछंती एनएसएम रे उनको प्रसाद सेवन पे निमंत्रण हला और तापरे विश्राम ग्रहण करिके संध्या पूजा पे आपन को निमंत्रण हला टाइम टा एग्जैक्ट मन पड़नी मोर 6:30 ना
6:30 भाई 6:30 6:30
अपन को संध्या 6:30 पे संध्या पूजा पे निमंत्रण हला एनएसएम रे ठीक है आज जहाँ सब त्रुटि है भाई मान
प्रत्युषा
Jayaguru, I invite all Shree Shree Thakur, all Bhais, Mas, and young aspirants to the next Sangha Puja held on the 21st of December 2025. Jayaguru.
मिता भी तो छंती आश्रम मंदिर रे
आसंता रविवार संघ पूजा कल्पनामा प्रत्युषा और मोर आमर संघ पूजा पाली अच्छी से श्री ठाकुर आपण को भक्त भाई माँ और पिला समस्त निमंत्रण कर पूजा जोगदे पूजाटी को सफल मंडित करेंगे आमको सेवार सुजोग देवे जय गुरु
उषमा
Jay Guru Bhai, Maaz, and all young aspirants. On behalf of all the Pariyas and other Sangha members who directly and indirectly contributed and participated in our Sangha Puja today, for all the errors or mistakes that we have committed, could be knowingly or unknowingly, please forgive us. And Shree Shree Thakur Maharaj, please keep us near your feet, and we at times we do not know what we are doing, so please help us understand and do your work in a better way. Jai Guru.
भाई जय गुरु ब्रज भाई टिके मु त्रुटि बिचु जय
आज्ञा
प्राण ठाकुर माँ भाई मैंने आज मोर संघ पूजा संघ सेवक पढ़ियार था सकाळे मु मिस कर जेछि सेति ठाकुर पाखरे माँ भाई समस्त पाखरे क्षमा प्रार्थना करछि जय
जय गुरु मिलवा
जय गुरु
दयामय श्री चरणे
मोहि दास एहि अहंकार तुमे प्रभु मोहि दास एहि अहंकार एकमात्र जीव प्रबल संस्कार एकमात्र जीव प्रबल संस्कार एथि लागि जेबे काले न मिले मुक्ति एथि लागि जेबे काले न मिले मुक्ति तथापि रखिबि मने अनंत द्रुपति देव तथापि रखिबि मने द्रुपति तुम्हारी दृष्टि भीतरे तुम्हारी जगते तुम्हारी दृष्टि भीतरे तुम्हारी जगते पड़ी थी जही तही तुम्हारी इंगिते देव पड़ी थी जही तही तुम्हारी इंगिते ध्वंस परे रचनार अभिनव रूप ध्वंस परे रचनार अभिनव रूप देखी देखी आसी जीव असल स्वरूप देखी देखी आसी जीव असल स्वरूप मिलाई न पारे जेबे तब चंद्रेश्वर मिलाई न पारे जेबे तब चंद्रेश्वर तब नामे बाई जीबी भंगा बीड़ा मोर देव तब नामे बाई जीबी भंगा बीड़ा मोर सुनो बान सुनो केही थिब अहंकार सुनो बान सुनो केही थिब अहंकार तुमे प्रभु मोहि दास एतिकी संस्कार देव तुमे प्रभु एतिकी संस्कार प्रेममय श्री चरणे करे निवेदन प्रेममय श्री चरणे करे निवेदन प्रेममय श्री चरणे करे निवेदन तुम जय गाउथिबि सारा जीवन देव तुम जय गाउथिबि सारा जीवन जय गुरु जय गुरु जय गुरु जय 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 जय
जय गुरु जय 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 गुरु जय गुरु जय Jai Guru, 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 Jai Jai Guru, 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 Jai Jai Shree Thakur Bhajan Devotional Kumar Shree Shree Guru Maharaj Jai, Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Guru.
जयगुरु भाई मैंने बहुत इजी गला 3 जन पहले थे अधिक समय लगला अनु भाई किसी अच्छी की कहर अनु भाई आज
जयगुरु भाई हाँ भाई मु एबे मेल पठेइथिले 11:10 बेलको जो माँ भाई माने दे नांती ताकर ना आ जो माँ भाई माने देई ताकर ना हमर प्राय बहुत इम्प्रूवमेंट हेछि हमर प्राय 67% फैमिली देई सारलणी और 33% एबे जाय देई नांती किंतु सेत भी अधा जनक कम्युनिकेट करछन ताका चेक की ताकर रिमेनिंग पेमेंट से वीक भीतर कंट्रीब्यूट करया पई आउ माँ भाई माने जो माने आपन ना देखिले आ जानि माने आपण करि नाते मते जणांतु जदि किछ असुविधा थिबो वी कैन ऑलवेज वर्क आउट समथिंग कि हमें ताको फॉरवर्ड करबो नेक्स्ट ईयर को तो मते से अनुसार जणांतु सो दैट वी कैन कंप्लीट द प्रोसेस एई वर्ष पय हमर डेडलाइन थिला डिसेंबर 15 सो दैट हमें एनुअल बजेट प्रिपेयर कर पाइबो बाय द मंथ ईयर एंड नुवा वर्ष पय तो मते कहंतु आपण किछि यदि असुविधा सुविधा थिबो से अनुसार मैं ये करबो जय गुरु
विश्वताई अटेंड हजबा आ किछि अछि किछि इंपोर्टेंट दीदी हेलान तो
सो अटेंडेंस पूर्व खाली कहरथिला जे हम खाली पठितली तो पर्सनल कंप्यूटर मीटिंग हेतला तार नोट्स आ केतरा जिंस इंपोर्टेंट जिंस तार अछि गोटे होछि जे कंस्ट्रक्शन रिलेटेड गोटे आइटम अछि बजे कहि देबी टी ना रखे नेक्स्ट वीक
हां गो हेड हां जल्दी कहि दो
हां मीटिंग हेतला कंस्ट्रक्शन कमिटी संगरे नवंबर 16 तारिख दिन सो दे गेव 3 ऑप्शंस सेथरे आउ ताको पीसी मध्ये डिस्कशन करथिले सेथु गोटे ऑप्शन पीसी ड्रॉप्ड इट सेइंग दैट गोटे ऑप्शन होची सेकंड ऑप्शन होची जोटा हमरो नुवा बिल्डिंग जोटा टोटल हबो सेटा कंस्ट्रक्शन कमिटी जोटा प्रपोजल देते सेटा ड्रॉप करले पीसी आउ दीटा ऑप्शन रहिले सेथुरु दीटा ऑप्शन होची जे ठाकुर जो बर्तन अछि जो एनएसएम अछि सेटा एक्सपांड करिवो एक्सपांशन सेटा गोटे ऑप्शन आउट ऑप्शन होची जे ठाकुर जिबे नुआ घर को नुआ घरटा जो तैयारी हेबो भक्त निवास सहित जोटा नुआ तैयारी होची जोटा घर एक्चुअली जोटा ठाकुर पे जोटा नुआ घर सेटा ऑप्शन नंबर 3 सेतरे हमरो सेवक रहको व्यवस्था करा जिवो आउ जोटा बर्तन जो एनएसएम बिल्डिंग अछि सेटा रीमॉडलिंग हे के तारो सेटा मध्ये से ऑप्शन 3 अछि से ऑप्शन 1 ऑप्शन 3 होची दीटा जिंस गोटे हला एनएसएम एक्जिस्टिंग बिल्डिंग टा एक्सपांड करिवो आ ऑप्शन 3 होची गोटे नुआ घर तैयारी हेबो जेते ठाकुर मूव करिवे आ सेठी हमरो भक्त भी माने सेवक रहिबे सेठी एटा हला ऑप्शन नंबर 3 ए दीटा ऑप्शन को बर्तन दे आर गोइंग टू कम बैक विथ द एक्चुअल माने केते खर्च हबो आ तार फिजिबिलिटी स्टडी से करिके से माने आउट प्रपोजल देबे so they are going to work on that they are going to give back to us with another estimate with the total cost kete lagibo seta asla pore then we will go to general body to so in detail with a meeting dakajibo most probably seta tankar report asla pore we will try to have a meeting date eta thala construction committee update out ho je amar seva annual seva mukhya mankar na guda ko ame publish kar dechu पीसी जोटा अप्रूव करछंती यदि के चाहउछंती सेतरे सेवा नै परिबेनी सेवा मुख्य होछंती सो दे कैन रिप्लाई टू आवर मेल ओके आ एटा थला हमर अपडेट पीस पर्सनल कमेंट आउट थला इंपोर्टेंट जिंस थला जे प्रादेशिक सम्मेलन हबो हमर जनवरी 31 फेब्रुवारी 1 आ फेब्रुवारी 2 सेही समय रे प्रादेशिक सम्मेलन जो रविवार पड़छि फेब्रुवारी 1 तारिख दिन स्थिर कराची जे सेदिन संघ पूजा हबो नै केना समस्त व्यस्त तो इतबे सो देखिया पे चांस मिलिबो प्रादेशिक सम्मेलन जहाँ आलोचना हला जहाँ सेटा देखिया पे का लाइव ब्रॉडकास्ट जहाँ होइथिबो से समय रे आ आसन मंदिर मध्ये लोकल भक्त आसिया को टिके कष्ट से समय रे आ तो से स्थिर करागला जे ओडिसा रे मध्ये से बंद कर दिया जाए शाखा संघ मानकर हम देखिछु जेतु समस्त जानदे सम्मेलन जोग देबा पे का एथि मध्ये हमर मध्ये से सुजोग मिले समस्त को जे आपण माने लाइव ब्रॉडकास्ट थी पूरा फुल 100% जोग दे सेट सुनतु आ से समय आपण माने सेटर यूटिलाइज करू से समय रे प्रादेशिक समय सुनिया पे का से सेट पे का हमरो गहनी गुडी डिसाइड कले जे थरो संघ पूजा हबो नाही फेब्रुवारी 1 तारिख दिन तो जो सेवा असाइनमेंट हबो से अनुसार सेटा को हमें ये करबो आ फर्स्ट महिला पूजाटा से अनुसार तार प्रथम जो संघ पूजा हबो 6 तारिख दिन फेब्रुवारी मास सेटा महिला पूजा हबो so these are the important assignments आउ खाली थिला जे प्रादेशिक सम्मेलन जो पाळी दैनिक सेवा पाळी ता लिस्ट पठेई दिथिले जनरल बॉडी ईमेल रे यदि किए चाहूँगी 1101 टका देवाई दैनिक सेवा बेले नापी प्रादेशिक सम्मेलन रे सो यू कैन टेल योर नेम्स टू मी है जय गुरु सो बहुत लेट है सो आर गोइंग टू अटेंडेंस अचित भाई
जय गुरु भाई
जय गुरु अमिता भाई
जय गुरु भाई
जय गुरु पद्मिनी माँ
जय गुरु भाई
जय गुरु अंजना माँ
जय गुरु भाई
जय हाँ जय गुरु अनु भाई जय गुरु
जय गुरु भाई
जय गुरु श्वेता माँ
जय गुरु भाई
जय गुरु अश्विनी भाई
जय गुरु भाई
जय गुरु संघमित्रा माँ बाणी माँ जय गुरु
जय गुरु भाई
जय गुरु बरदा भाई
जय गुरु भाई
जय गुरु सोनिया माँ